So let's move to item B, discuss and or approve initial board terms. In his comments to us, Dr. Feeney addressed that. It's been an item that he's a bit concerned about. Because we have to determine how we're going to do that. Is this going to be, as he said, is this going to be basketball defense we're talking about? 1-2-2-2-2-1, 2-1-2. How are we going to do this? And then, who is that first one or two going to be? And I have no problem myself being, and I really believe it should be 1-2-2, because I think we need a little longevity on this board, and I think the people that are here now should stay as long as they can, just to get the thing going. Where I would be content to be the person who is up for election next year. I have no problem with that. I don't have to ask anybody else to volunteer to take that position. So I think this is open to discussion at this point.
I think maybe we should look at one thing at a time, and I appreciate your comments on that. I'm fine with the 1-2-2. I think maybe we should decide that first and then decide what else happens. I mean, that's just what I want for me. Part of the reason when we all got elected, we talked about, as far as Chuck and I having longevity, is we've been here a long time, had some knowledge, hopefully, and forgot a lot of things. It scares me for that point that you maybe get ousted in the first year, but anyway, hope that doesn't happen. But I think it should be 1-2-2, just because no matter what happens in the first election, we would still have 4 people on the board that have been involved in the first election, or the first election of this board, and should have a little bit more knowledge than other people that would be coming in. Knowledge doesn't make it perfect, but at least there's some background there to fall back on. So I'd like to make a motion that at least we do the 1-2-2 scenario. I don't know how else to say it other than that.
Okay, you've heard the motion.
Maybe
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, we have a second. Now, discussion.
point of clarification, to help clarify the 1-2-2 thing for anybody that's not following that. One person would be up for election in 2011. 2 would be up for re-election in 2013, and the other 2 would be up for re-election in 2015. If you use the years, that might help see how that becomes a staggered term.
I can say in some of our discussions on the initial board that we thought also it should be 1, 2, and 2. And in our discussions, the way we felt, the first person that should go up was the person who was appointed by the other 2 boards. And then the following year, 1 from each of the old boards, and the following year, the other remaining 2 from each board. And one of those reasons was because that 5th person was the appointed person. So he should first. That was our feelings. That's what some of our talks with the AAA. That's how it was. But this still doesn't detract from the motion of 1-2-2, which you have on the board.
I'm not familiar with anything. I mean, that's a recommendation, and I appreciate you sharing that, because I didn't know that. I don't know of anything that's statutory that requires that has to happen. That's in the form of a recommendation.
Right.
Good.
All of the members of this board were elected to a board of education, and so every one of them has an equal right to sit on this board. So there's no differentiation there, but I can see your thinking in that. Well, we have one before any further discussion. Those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
there any rule, now that that is set, do there any timelines that you know about Dr. Green for the next part of that?
I don't think you would have to decide the next part of it right now, and maybe you would prefer to at this point, table it. That might be a good idea.
I'd be fine with that. I think now it's just on the regular election rules, wouldn't it be?
You get into the timelines,
I'm
yeah.
fine with that.
I really encourage it, because it's obviously an important issue, and you have some time to process, and also individually what you're thinking about your own futures, because that really is what you're talking about, so.
Well, I'd like to say that I respect John and the reorganization committee, but I would be the one that would be up for election, and my feeling would be that Chuck would be reelected long before I would be. So I would like to be the person that is not first. That's just my take on it.
However, you have a lot of young children to be educated in this district. I have none.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll have kids in school for 18 years.
Yeah.
So I'd like to be here for a little while.
Well, unless anyone has any opposition, we'll revisit this later. It seems to be a consensus.